There we go. Frickin' headset didn't want to fire up. I apologize. Oh, let's see. There's that ready to go. That is ready to go. Alright, let's see. Waiting for the guys to show up. Yes! Finally got my cat in the right spot. Yay! Alright. Okay, let's see here. Got the truck. Got this charged up. Drink. Ah! Sorry I'm late for the show, guys. I was supposed to start 20 minutes ago and I didn't. Waiting for the guys to show up. So I can get to work. That. Got the wheels and tires over there. Oh, I'll just do it this way. Alright. I'm just going to put it down here for now. That's what I'm working on. Damn it, my grip doesn't want to work today. Oh, man. The O-ring rolled in this thing, so I gotta use the pliers to get it out. Hate when that happens. That. Wait, that looked like it got darker. What the hell? Where is everyone tonight? I'm a little disappointed right now. I know I'm not talking much. Trying to get everything ready for tonight. Man, I should have put a description in that. Oh well. Shit. Hmm. Might need to actually make that. Hmm. Hey, Bill. Just sitting here making stuff or remixing stuff for this truck. How you doing tonight, Bill? Oh, shit. There. Forgot. I'm working. Camera up. Not need to be on the desk. Oh wait. Yoink. Boom. I am I'm good. I could be a little better, but it is what it is. Wait and see if Eric shows up. Considering the fact that I am working on his truck, this part right here that's actually on the screen right now is actually a part I'm modeling for his truck. Or remixing for his truck, that is. It's like a 9-hour print, though, too. Yeah, I know I was a little late on the stream. See if Eric actually shows up. I got his body fully printed now. It's sitting off camera at the moment. All the parts are printed for it. Hmm. But I'm just sitting here waiting. Wait a minute. Oh no. I don't need that here. there's those. Okay, now where? There they are. Okay, cool. Oh man, see if who else shows up for this. Okay, I think I've got it changed enough to where this will be okay to print. So I'm gonna go and export this. Oh, yeah, like it's a little warm right now, so I'm like I was gonna put on the beanie, but you know, I mean, like I felt weird last week, you know, first time not having a hat on at all. So I was a little disappointed. But yeah, even made some spacers too for those front wheels on that truck, because if not, I was gonna save them a little bit of money than doing the actual stuff. So let's go ahead and change that around. Oh, actually, I should have sat there and left it on the other screen. Let's see how long. Oh, nope, I don't need it. That one. That one's fine. This is 100%. No brim. Oh no, this one gets a brim. I forgot. Slice! Wow, almost 100 grams. Says 13 hours to print this. 13 hours to print. But I speed up my printer, so knock 3 hours off that. Really, Bubby? I was a little done. So I was gluing the body together, and it freaking, after I got all the clamps on it, got it all set, put it over the side, it freaking, oh, it's sliced now. Done. I got throw it on the printer. Fire the printer up real quick. Put the SD card in. Ooh. Export code. That's because how I support, how I run. So I run organic supports, or AKA trees. Yeah, I'm gonna throw this on the printer real quick. Get this printing and have it done when I wake up in the morning. There we go. Got the printer started already. Give you an idea kind of what this is going to look like, Bill. You got a sneak peek here. So that part that I remixed is this part right here. So it'd actually be a proper Tahoe, you know, independent front suspension. Granted, not torsion barred, but hey, independent front suspension, can't complain. Leaf springs out back. Because believe it or not, so the funny thing is, this axle right here is actually the axle off this truck. Granted, I did put different links on it. I tried longer links on it to see if it would be the right length. Then see if maybe I can make these work. They were about a quarter to half an inch too short. And I don't have any, these are the longest rod ends I could put on it to get that length. So I said, okay, screw this. I'm going to try something else. I have this other file that I was going to use on one of my other projects. It didn't work for how I had the back of my Taco built. So I said, screw it. I'm going to sit there and make this all work. Try it on this. And it works, but it was a quarter of an inch too long of a wheelbase, so put the axle too far back. So now I'm remixing it so I can slide that whole framework forward more. So I can print, so it could be, it's adjustable wheelbase. Because that whole frame slides. And then drill the holes I need to drill and tap them to make this work. The zone detachable frame. This one's been dremeled the crap. I dremeled it to try to get it to. I'm like, oh, I got it printed. Let's try it. It's actually fairly strong for being at a PLA. When I make the final one, because this is just the prototype stage, when I make the final one, I'll make it in PETG. So it's actually a little bit, so it's actually got more strength to it than what this will have. So not a big deal. But it just like kind of slots itself in between the frame rails right here. And you just run the screws in and you're golden. Because that's how this works. So, it will have everything. The issue that I'm running into is I can't get it any further forward because it actually hits the curb in the frame. So this right here actually, this whole unit right here is what I'm just building. I don't need to print the whole frame when all I need is this. And you can see it just... I had it before I took the Dremel to it. It did. No, I don't need to sit there and print the whole frame. But this is A scale, and it is actually fairly big. Yeah, see, slips right in. This design's designed for the frame, the actual C channel of the frame to clamp around it and screw and use the existing screw holes in the frame to secure it to the frame. But I gotta make a new drive shaft too. Drive shaft's just gonna be a little too short. Luckily, I think I have enough parts laying around to make the correct drive shaft. If not, I can just order the parts. Not that big of a deal. I think even it has the, and because, so the axle housing itself is the exact same housing as here. This is the takeoff axle housing from my, my Taco build. It's the same axle. I'm just using the housing as mock-up right now to see if this is something that I should do with it. But because I can always make new links. It's just it's a little bit of a time-consuming, tedious job to find the right length and get the wheelbase right. This right here I thought would be easy because it's all I got to do is slide, drill holes, done. I wish it was a Dana 60, but it's not. It's just what it is. But I actually printed some 0.5 millimeter spacers to put behind the wheels. 'Cause that's all it needed. It just needed half a millimeter clearance to make it so this would still roll or still spin when the tires were fully screwed on. If not, he'd have to spin, like, I think I'd have to order 15. Well, it would have been like another almost $30 for the hubs that go in here that would space it out. But then it would space it out 0.3, so 3 millimeters wider than what it is stock. So you get total of 6 millimeters on total width of a wider setup. Well, we don't need a wider setup. I'm just going to set this like this. Move this out of my way. Move those. Eric! Hey, buddy. Ah! So, yes, she's glued together. You're good, but I actually had a late start. Believe it or not, I didn't even start at 8:30 like I normally do, because I was sidetracked playing a different game. Not playing a video game. But she's big, Eric. She's a big girl. But so funny thing, Eric. I was doing some messing around, and links that I had, they're like, oh sweet, I'll just take the rear links that I had in the stockpile of long links, put them on the back of this thing for you, Eric. And with that body, it was a half an inch too short, or I think it was like a quarter. I think it was like a quarter inch too. Ooh, ow. Oh, that's right. I forgot you said you had to have that done there, Bill. So I did something a little weird there. Oh wait, we don't need this on here anymore. Let me turn the screen around because I forgot. Boop. There we go. Sorry about that. So, Bill, we can do coil springs, for that extra, crawlability, which you're not crawling. Or put this out of the way here. You'll get a kick out of this, Eric. Ooh, ow, Eric. Dude, I had a gallstone. That's why they removed my gallbladder. But Eric, what's this? Mm, yeah, Eric, it will be scale accurate. Kind of. Leaf springs out back, independent front suspension, just like the full-size Ford Tahoe. Granted, it's coilovers, not, you know, torsion bar, but hey. the nice thing about this lets me set the wheelbase anywhere. Yeah. And then ah, if you actually look, that is just a little too long. Yep. It's a little too long. The wheelbase is. I mean, with that cradle. Now, I'm remaking the cradle right now. It's actually on the printer as we speak, making a new one of these. That I can bring this a little bit closer up here. But this is the type of the work that I enjoy doing. I like problem solving. Like, hey, let's try this. And this is just a mock-up housing. This is my stock housing from my Night Runner that I have, my Taco, because I switched out to an SSD axle housing, so metal axle housing. Um, so I had this laying around. I'm like, it's the same axle. It's the same axle housing that your stock axle is, so I can use it to mock up instead of messing with that stuff. But so also Eric, I actually 3D designed up and 3D printed a couple of these little shims here, which I just totally launched that one across my desk area. But I actually printed a. This is one's a 1 millimeter, and then I have 0.5 millimeters too. And I printed those up, and come on, focus, camera, focus. Hold on, let me get the camera to do its freaking thing here. There. Easy way to get it to focus. Turn it off, turn it back on again. But I was able to 0.5 millimeter spacer behind the wheel that actually kept it so it could still spin freely and not bind up on the hub instead of having to spend another $30 to buy 3 millimeter offset hubs. So that was a problem solved. Just got to remember they're in there. But yeah, problem solving, man. That's what I like to do. And here we are. The only thing I did to this body was I scaled it for the width. For the width of this chassis, for the width of these axles, and then I'm building the chassis to fit the body instead of the other way around, where print the body or get the chassis, measure that, and then make the body fit the chassis. Man, I like to. This is the custom part. This is when people see you pulling this thing around, driving this thing around at the flight field, towing your planes, and people go, "Oh man, that thing's so cool." You can be like, "It's a one-off." But I hope I inspire other people to build like this. You know, lots of cool resources out there to find parts. We've got 3D printers out. They're cheap. You can get decent printers for cheap now too. So you start with a cheap chassis or a cheap kit, RTR, and then you go from there. Not like I'm actually saying this is a cheap, chassis. This is actually still a very good chassis for what it is. I enjoy this chassis. I like yeah, I like the advent of it. Now I do have to make a change. I do have to lower these body mounts. Ah. I'll try that. Oh. Trying to find the correct height to have the body sitting at. And because I still have the body post. Oh, that's 3. I need 4. Ah. And we'll put this back on. Granted, I want to spin that around that way. There we go. Yeah, I even had the clamp. I even printed off the clamp on shock mounts too there, Eric. So it'll still have shocks. Doggy cam. Hey, Telly, what are you doing? Internet famous. Ooh, I kind of like the way that's sitting now. So if I put the weight on it, might lower it down a little bit more. But I gotta raise the back. Looks like the back is actually sitting a little lower than the front, as in the side. The other thing though is I did. Ooh, there we go. And the other thing about that is, Eric, I can tune it by adding different amount of leaves back here too. So if depending on how heavy, might be going to tow a trailer with it, besides your airplanes. Not too bad. But I did actually discover something there, Eric, with this model. Put the chassis down because I need the body now. Put that over there. So the rear bumper, Eric. So to actually start, my OCD is driving the best, is getting the best of me right now with this rear bumper. Because if I use the mounting locations that this bumper is supposed to sit at, which is right here like this, okay, look at how much of the body is still below it. So I gotta trim all this off, because that's gonna drive my OCD nuts seeing that much of a lower balance on this body. And then re-angle this and re-radius this part here to match. The only flaw I have found in this body so far is just that little mess up right there. Oh no, Eric, you're probably gonna get people going, man, I'll buy that off you. How much you want for it? Like one of my other truck projects I had, the TF2, not the TF2. Oh yeah, my TF2 that I did my step side body on. People were asking me how much I wanted for that truck when I beat the creek this year. I kind of tell them I wasn't gonna sell it, and that it wasn't for sale. But man, this white is white. I can't wait till I get this thing black. But ah, oh no! Boop. Yeah, I don't want to glue this on. Like I don't want to put this on until I figure out what kind of lighting. There. Forgot to deburr it. But not too bad. And I think the scale, I think it being an 8 scale really does actually work for this thing better than trying to make it 10 scale. Because it literally, so the front wheels stick out, like, I'm not gonna lie, the front wheels do stick out of this body a little bit, and that's because the front is narrower. It's a little bit narrower here than it is back here, because here's the rear axle, and I literally can stick it, and the tires just touch the inside lip, like just the inside lip of the thing. It just sits there. And then the front, though, the fronts really sit on there. But the front is wider than the rear. Like on the chassis itself, the front suspension is actually wider than this axle is. So that does make it a little bit wider in the front. But I think we'll see how everything goes when I get the rest of the stuff done. Yeah. And then I have to order more of these. Because I don't have enough of these for this. But these are the magnets I use. And then me trying to separate them, by the way. Well, no, Bill, that's just it. You gotta space it. It's the opposite. But so each one of these magnets right here is 12 pounds by itself. When you put them together, and well, still takes over 12 pounds to take them apart. Like since they're now touched together, it's real pain in the ass to get these back off. So I take it, Eric. You want me to paint the bumpers and the grill with that spray paint if I find it? Because that was the one thing that's gonna bug me is like I'm not gonna, I have yet to actually find a good, and I mean a legit good chrome paint that actually looks proper. Besides those liquid the Molly liquid chrome paint pens that we use for modeling, which I do have to order another set of those. Um, yeah, but I also noticed that the rear bumper is just a tad narrower than the front bumper. Because I was like, oh, what if we just want to murder the whole truck out? No chrome at all on it. Just black everything out except for the light lens areas, which would be, chromed out, obviously, because they need to be reflective. But that's the other thing I noticed. Man, this white really does sit there and wash everything out. Holy crap. Saturation is high. But yeah, rear bumper not as wide as front bumper. So I might see if I can figure out a way to make this wider. Cuz it is even narrow on the body too. See, it doesn't actually cover the corner all that well. So that's the other part of the bumper that's the other bit of my OCD that's driving me nuts when it comes to this thing. Yes, but Chrome doesn't get you home, Eric. But yeah. Oh, other question, since I'm gonna go into this anyways. Um, do you want dual exhaust out the back beside the Reese hitch that I'm making, or do you want like factory stock kick out right behind the rear wheel, the passenger rear wheel, like this, where this kicks out right at the rear axle, right behind the rear axle, or do you want like twins coming out the back or a single out the back? How do you want the exhaust routed on, you know? What do you want, dude? Okay, fine. Hold on. Like the bad thing is, like I was so late in this, like I didn't even get a chance to eat my dinner because my dinner came at like 8, a little after 8 o'clock. Get that out the door. Okay, so behind the wheels, like a factory style. Got it. Yep, I can do all that. Um, I do have more leaf spring mounts coming because, like I said, these are just mock-up. Give you an idea, give you a visual representation of a leaf spring rear suspension on the truck. If that was something that you're like, hey, that actually looks pretty good. Go ahead and do it, or take the extra time and make the links because I have to make a new set of these because these are off my taco, like my Night Runner taco build that I did. Like these are off it, and they're way longer than the stock ones. Like, let me. Do I have them here? Did I put them in the box? So, here are the links that I took off your truck. You can see. Wait. Ah. Yeah. So that's a bottom link next to a bottom link. So they are longer. I did put longer links on it. All right, Eric. Like I said, you got it, man. You're getting all this nice little. Yeah. And here are even more. Even more links. Oh, look. Oh, a steering rod. Cool. I needed one of those. Three-link bar stuff. It's great. Oh, I forgot I have other bumper mounts. Those are sway bars. Shock towers. I got all kinds of crap in here. It's great. Like, this is nothing but my element box. Like, all these parts that are in here are all parts off the element trucks. And it's all interchangeable with Axial stuff, too. Like, Axial Racing stuff. Or Axial Adventures now. Sorry. They're rebranded. Horizon Hobbies, either way you look at it anyways, but... Then if you want leaf springs, then I'll disassemble this stuff and transfer the leaf mounts. Now, Eric, the other question is this: since if you're going to go leaf mount, how stiff of a suspension do you want on the back? Want me to put be able to put say 10 pounds on it and see it and not have it sag? Because that's the really cool thing about leaf springs is you can tune them with different amount of leaves. And I have different length ones as well, so than just these. Like for the K20 build, so the build that this was going to get, it was actually going to get some really stiff rear leads because I wanted this to be my tow rig so I can tow trailers behind it. And then also be able to put stuff in the bed. You know, like all the batteries or whatever. I'm just messing around. But put this away and let's see how good of a glue job I did and see how much of a gap I'm going to have. Jeez, I gotta stop hitting that button on the keyboard. Keep hitting the Windows button on the keyboard. Ah! Yeah, what I'll end up doing as well, Eric, is I'll see what I can design up for like an anti-wrap bar as well. So it'll have an anti-wrap bar. Because I'm not, I don't know how much weight, and to be honest, how I'm gonna have to do some testing with this printed stuff. I will have to paint though. I know that much. Eh. Anyways, it will stay like that for now. I'll do some fine machining to it. Oh, they kind of. Oh, that is the wrong side. Oh, it was that one that did its little weirdness. Hmm, there we go. Ah, 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 ah. I take it black mirrors, or do you want color matched, like body matched, body paint matched mirrors? Or you just want the plastic black elephant ears? All right. Yeah, I can stick my hand. Can't do that with the 10 scale, by the way. All right, I will gloss it. I will have it matched to the same color as the body then. So that means I can actually, when I get all the smoothing done, I'll actually be able to glue the I'll actually be able to put the mirrors in. Because the last thing I'll have to be able to put in are the windows. But I have to do some modifying to this front window. And of course I'm sanding and stuff like that, get the fit just right. But I'm gonna have to message Andre and say, hey man, you might want to retake a look at your windshields to his his curve of his windshield here. All right, Billy, have a good one, man. But I'm gonna have to do some filling in right here. You can just see it between the right. You can just barely make out the wood behind here. But there's a gap. There's a gap in the where the bottom of the window is to right here. I'm gonna have to fill that in. But when I re-radius the rear and do all that, I'll be able to get this to set in right and get all this going. But I gotta do the smoothing. I gotta sand the joints areas first, get them smooth, get the body lines correct. Cause even though I glued, like I had 6 clamps on each joint. So here I had clamp here, clamp on this side, top of the doors areas down, bottom of the truck down. It still shifted from just the vibrations of people walking around in my cabin. It shifted the body a little bit. So I got to do a little bit of sanding to straighten out the gaps in the body joints. But when I get it all done, you're not going to notice. But Eric, I will actually, to be honest with you, I'm not the best painter when it comes to actually doing a gloss paint job. I'm actually gonna take this thing when I get all of it smooth and ready for paint. I'm actually gonna take this body to a friend of mine that runs an actual body shop. So it's actually gonna have a legit automotive paint job on it. So I'll actually have the 2-stage paint job with base and clear coat. So just letting you know you can look forward to that. Because I am, like I said, Eric, I'm sorry. When it comes to doing a gloss paint job, I'm not the man for it. I straight up admit that is above my skill level to get it just right. So I'm going to let a friend of mine paint it for me. But I think for the finished product, you're going to be very, very happy with how this truck's going to come out. So next week, this body should be smoothed. Because I do have my UV resin that I put on here. But as far as the actual layer lines, look like how it's actually done now, layer lines actually are not that bad in this model, this print. It came out pretty good. But I got my UV resin. That's actually what I'm going to do on these, believe it or not. I'm going to do the UV resin on these and get these all smooth and polished with the UV resin. See how it comes out. And then go from there. Okay, yeah, I'll ask them. I'll see how much it's all going to cost, because it shouldn't be that much, because it's just a little body here. But yeah, I will let him know. I will ask him. But here we are. Put that down so it doesn't wash out my camera. So I got a little bit of cleanup work to do on the prints, but for the most part, I think this actually came out fairly good. I think it's going to be a really cool build. Well, I know it's going to be a cool build. You call it Black Cherry. All right. You actually let me know if Eric, if you actually have the paint code for the paint job on your truck, and you can email it to me. The paint code, because I can get it exact, match it paint code for paint code, and then ask for and then put then I'll have them put some of that red pearl in it. But yeah. And I'll be honest, I still haven't decided if I'm going to put the twin hammers back together or not. That's why it's still sitting out. I keep putting it on the workbench and then looking at it going, I need to put electronics on this thing. And then I just don't bother putting electronics in it. I'm like, eh. Oh, now that I got a couple layers on this print, I can actually speed this printer back up. I'm still waiting for my new printer to show up. When I get the new printer, I'll get it going. Okay, it's just GM Black. All right, got it. Yeah, I'm gonna actually get the paint code for my truck. But I know when I do the GMT 400, or not the GMT, but the 69, this one, when I go to paint this body, I will actually be getting it'd be painted in Chevy engine red. But I'm just taking my time with smoothing, just when I get the leaf spring stuff done for it, then I'll worry about building the truck. At the moment, I'm not. It can sit on the shelf for all I care until I get around to finishing it. Kind of like the Suburban back there, above my head there. It can sit there until I get done. Because that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to... This project right here is taking precedence at the moment. I still got to finish that semi-truck. It's still hiding over there, actually. It's hiding below the end down there. I got to finish that. I got to finish the trailer. I think I might do the trailer tomorrow. I might actually do a little work on it. I got to assemble the frame for the trailer. And then come up with how I'm going to mount the actual tilt mechanism. Because I had the whole tilt mechanism, too, for the tilt bed. I just have to mock everything up and then figure out how I'm going to do a drive shaft to the motor to the gearbox and motor to the frame. And figure out what kind of motor I'm actually going to put on it. And then I got to put an ESC on it and fun stuff. But chances are I'm probably going to end up just using a winch controller on it. It's not going to be that big of a deal on power-wise. I don't want it super fast. For lifter, I got to see how fast it's actually going to be. But, Believe it or not, I think for now, because I'm still waiting for my filler to dry, so I can't even sand that yet. Still kind of tacky. So I'll do the sanding and stuff on it tomorrow. But yeah, show you how much bigger this is real quick. Let me get the 1/10 scale body that came on that chassis. And yes, I am replacing this week end. So too much. Yeah, it catches the door handles and won't let it go all the way over. But it it's crazy that they consider this. Why won't this come off now? Oh, there. Um. So it's like, yep. Forerunner versus a taco. So or Tahoe. So I think it's about scale right for technically one. I'll do it this way. Move the leg. Put the camera down. Move the camera. Not too bad. But I think I might end this one early. Just because I'm waiting for stuff to dry and all I'm doing here is being a chatty Cathy to chat here. But I'll be working on this some more. Getting the getting it sanded. Like I said, I'm twisting it pretty firm. Definitely when it gets painted, it'll actually add a little bit of rigidity to it, especially when I put the UV resin on it. That's going to help stiffen it up, but it's also going to make it a little brittle too. Or the resin's usually a little brittle, more brittle than the PLA that the body's printed in. But should add some rigidity to it to help stiffen up the body. But also when the glass gets put in it, it's going to stiffen it up too. But as far as the magnet system goes, yeah. That's going to be the mounting system for it. It's going to body mount it on things, on magnets. You'll have to use some force to pull it off. Front bumper and rear bumper will be connected to the body, so it has you something to grab onto when you lift the body up to pull it off. Well, for the rear, it's going to be easier for you to grab underneath the bumper, so you'll be able to grab here to remove it, like right in like corners, to lift it up the back. And then when you tilt it up, it'll pop the front. So it'll pop the magnets loose on the front as well. So, for all intents and purposes, it would be good. Oh, I'm getting tired still. But, yeah, I'm going to go and end it. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. Remember, I try to get started on 8:30 every Thursday, Eastern Standard Time. So, you guys have a good one. Eric, get some rest. You need it after having going through what you're going through. And, I'll see you in chat, probably Eric's stream, or I mean Bill's stream on Monday, Eric? Maybe? No, you see me in the chat there anyways, but and I know I'm always gonna be over on Ryan's stream, or over hanging out with in the chat on Ryan's stream on Wednesday nights. But yeah, I'm out of here. Peace out. There's the update of the build that's going on for EQ here. And you guys have a good one. See you next week.